Hello everyone, I'm Brian Hetrick, and today I'd like to show you how to make raw vegan brownies. This recipe can be found in my recipe book, Natural Vibrant Health Raw Foods, a collection of over 60 of my favorite recipes. And this recipe book can be found at spirulinaguru.com. That's spirulinaguru.com. Now, for our raw vegan brownies, there are two steps to this recipe. First is to make the base or the brownie itself, and then the second step is to make the icing. For making the base, we're going to be using the food processor with the S blade. And so we start with 1 cup of raw walnuts into the food processor. So these are not salted walnuts, and they're not candied, and they're not roasted. These are just plain old raw walnuts. And so 1 cup of these raw walnuts into the food processor. And then next we're going to add a cup of these medjool dates. So these still have the pit in them. I like to buy them with the pit and then remove the pit myself. That way I can know that they're fresher. So 1 cup of medjool dates is going to be about 8 dates. Medjool dates are particularly moist and soft. Okay, so let's do 9. And this goes into the food processor as well. And then we're going to put the lid on. And we're going to process for about a minute to make sure that the dates and the walnuts are fully incorporated. And then we remove the lid to reveal this nice, smooth walnut and date meal. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to press this meal into a square glass casserole like this. Okay, and then we spread our walnut date meal evenly to the 4 corners of this square casserole dish here. So this is an 8-inch by 8-inch square casserole dish, which is perfect for this recipe. So there's only 2 ingredients so far, just walnuts and dates. 2 cups of walnuts, 2 cups of dates in the food processor with the S blade, and this will create a brownie base of about 3/4 of an inch. Now the next step is we're going to make the icing. And for making the icing, we're going to use the Vitamix blender. A standard blender will also work for this particular recipe. And we start with 2 avocados into the blender. So I just cut around the pit and then split it open like this. And then using a spoon, I'm going to scoop the avocado meat out of the shell and pop it into the blender. And to remove the pit, you can just tap it with a knife, and then the pit will come out on the edge of the knife. And a second avocado, perfectly ripe. And then we're going to add a half a cup of raw agave. And then next we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of raw cacao powder. And then 2 tablespoons of organic coconut oil, unrefined. 1 teaspoon of organic vanilla extract. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of organic cinnamon powder. And then we're going to blend this up in the Vitamix blender. And you only need to blend for about 30 seconds with this particular recipe. And then we're going to take the icing out and spread it evenly onto our brownie base. I want to make sure I get every last morsel of this deliciousness chocolate icing for my brownie. And then using my spatula, I'm just going to spread the icing out evenly to cover the brownie base. And there we have it. A quick and easy, simple recipe to make raw vegan brownies. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in the freezer for an hour or two to let it set up, and then it will be ready for serving. So once again, this recipe is available in my recipe book, Natural Vibrant Health Raw Foods. And this book is available on spirulinaguru.com. That's spirulinaguru.com. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you next time to make another delicious raw vegan recipe.